Well, if you're an American girl, you're a princess. I know you are. Cindy Dole here. I think I'm a princess. We all are princesses no matter what your age. And this is Home Wizards, where we talk about ways to feel like a king or a queen or a princess. In the spaces you call home, my sheepdogs think that they're princesses and that they deserve a room of their own. That's a whole other show. But we are talking now about how to create that space for truly the littlest princess in your world and in your home. And it's been put together in the Pasadena Showcase House, which opens up starting a week from tomorrow and goes on for a month. And we love to talk about it every year. And so here with me is the designer who, for the past 30 years, has worked in interior and design and takes from both, I guess, the fashion world and the interior world, and likes to focus on fabric and detail and color and things that are pretty. So with me is Jill Kollmar. So thanks for being here, Jill.
My pleasure, Cindy. It's great to be here.
It's fun, and it's fun to think girly things, isn't it?
Very much so, especially for me because I have one son, and I was deprived of all that girly stuff. And so I thoroughly enjoyed designing this room because baseball bats and trucks and Batman costumes or what have you are not as much fun to do for moms, I don't think.
Yeah. So you got to really let it all hang out and splurge. This must have been fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. And actually the way this room got its name was, I'm sure somewhere along the way some of the designers have told you that we kind of directed our theme this year toward the royal wedding.
Oh, right.
And the fact that the house is in English,
of course,
architecture.
Right, the Paul Williams
Williams house. So with that in mind, a lot of the rooms have sort of royal-related names. Mm-hmm. And when it came to doing my room, we thought, well, what do we call it? Little girl, this, that, or the other, and then decided the Littlest Princess would be good because she would be the youngest little girl in the household. And so it's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
So what did the room look like prior to your renovation? Because it's all done now, but what did it look like a few months ago when you said, okay, here's my space? Oh, my goodness.
It looked dreary. It wasn't... I didn't do any major remodel of the room. The basic walls and ceiling and so on are what's there now. But it was dingy, and as one of the other designers you've spoken with said, nothing had been done to the house in years and years. So it was kind of, a little Addams Family around the edges, kind of just maybe like a great aunt or something who had furniture from her grandmother lived in that room at one time. It's a small bedroom, and it has a charming corner where the eaves come in together and with a little bookcase built in under it. But you couldn't really appreciate the architectural elements of the room because it was just kind of gloomy. It had
kind of stale.
Dark,
it sounds like.
Dark red carpet and all, kind of dark creamy walls and not so gorgeous sconces on the wall. It was just dreary.
So you then said, hey, the palette's going to be what? What colors did you do? I'm thinking pink, right? Did you go pink?
There's definitely pink in there. I was inspired by a wallpaper that I found from Lee Joffa, and that kind of set me going. And it's a charming floral paper, which is a very pretty, nice white background, but has, of course, pink and green vines and flowers and little bird cages hanging on the vines. And as beautiful as it was, I thought doing the whole room in that paper would just be a little dizzying. So I used a second wallpaper, which is just a small overall neutral pattern for the other three walls. It's just on one wall.
That's a great idea. So when you're thinking of your walls, don't think the entire room has to be all that. Whether you paint it or wallpaper it, you could mix it up.
Exactly. Or it could be one wall of paper and three walls of paint, for that matter.
And that type of design in the wallpaper doesn't sound like a little girl. It almost sounds like something that she could grow into.
Absolutely. Well, that was part of my plan also, because doing this showcase house, one wants to show potential customers or clients that we're versatile. And if I just zeroed in and made the room 100% for a 4 or 5-year-old, I might miss out on people realizing that I'm capable of doing a lot more than that. So I'm kind of on the edge of having it be a little girl's room, but also something that can transform into either a guest room or a teenager's room or
that can evolve with us. I mean, I think we get into that trap of, okay, we want to have the little princess room, but if you take it too literally, I mean, with Tiara and, or Barbie and all that stuff and pink, 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 and it becomes like a scene from Disneyland, and it's almost like, okay, that gets old in a couple of years.
It does.
If not sooner.
I know.
Right?
With children today, I think a couple of years you'd be lucky.
Yeah. Okay. What other materials and things do you have? So kind of give us a canvas of how it now looks different. So you talked about the walls. What do you have on the floor? You got rid of the red carpet, I guess.
Oh, yes. Definitely got rid of the red carpet. I have actually, which I haven't done in a long time, I put wall-to-wall carpeting in, which is kind of a flat weave carpet.
Are people going carpet these days? Yeah.
Not necessarily. The reason that I did it was, as I had mentioned, eaves come down into one corner of the room, and so a big chunk of floor is taken away by this square or triangular corner that comes into the room. And I thought, oh gosh, finding a rug that's going to sit on the floor nicely and not be hidden under the bed and not run into this bookcase, etc., would be too much of a problem. So I did wall-to-wall carpeting and then put a small rug over that, so it still cozies it up very well.
Nice.
Yeah,
artwork?
nice.
Do you have artwork in there?
Great artwork, yes. I have.
I mean, how princessy is the artwork? Or how young?
It's very charming and whimsical, but once again, it's sort of borderline. Adult could enjoy it as well.
Non-committal kind of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely youthful and it's appropriate for the room. I borrowed a wonderful vintage Polish circus poster from Weidman Gallery here in L.A., and it's an acrobat upside down in his costume on a stick. He's balancing on upside down on a stick. And I have a painting of mine, which I bought in Haiti 30 years ago, of little schoolgirls coming out of school in their pink uniforms, which is absolutely charming. And then I created a rabbit collection for this imaginary little girl. And I have a beautiful little oil painting of a black and white rabbit in the room also. So it's as I say, age appropriate, but they're pretty things. There's some things that an adult would enjoy as well.
What about the bed and the bedding?
Oh, the bed. I designed a headboard for the bed, and I wanted to have everything be slipcovers so that it wouldn't look very stodgy and that it would be more for a child and something that would be practical that could be changed or cleaned and so on. So the bed is a toile slipcover, and it has 5 scallops across the top, so it has a charming, youthful feeling. And the bedding is beyond divine. It's so luxurious. I mean, we would all love to have it. Ebron custom-made embroidered sheets for me for the Showcase House, and also gave me magnificent Italian lace and linen pillowcases and blanket covers. So, and at the end of the bed, I had a faux white mink throw lined in pink silk made.
And do you have a little pea under the mattress? The princess and the pea?
I might have to do that.
Or a bag of frozen peas, you know what I mean?
Right. So it's really a little over the top in terms of luxury for a tiny child, but it's a showcase house. So it's, it can't look average. It has to look special. So
what about the lighting?
The lighting I kept very very easy, although 2 of the lamps are fabulous. They're rock crystal, alternating square and round balls, and they weigh each about 25 pounds.
Wow.
They're from Baker. And again, not 100% what one would put in a 4-year-old's room, but they have a kind of childlike look about them, and they're beautiful because they're translucent. And the shades are very simple. So it works. And I have tiny little sconces that are cuter than cute on the flowered wallpaper wall. And I could go on and on about the lighting.
Well, you will go on and on, because when we come back, a lot of us are thinking about maybe working on changing out our child's room and making it not only age appropriate, but maybe something that they can grow into even as they get older, or maybe even they might want to move back in after college. A lot of them are doing that. So help us with some ideas for the Littlest Princess room, no matter what our age, right? Because we're all princesses.
We are.
You can call in, and maybe you have a question at 888-KFWB-980, 888-539-2980. I'm Cindy Dole, and this is Home Wizards. I just wanted to wait for this one part. Hang on a second, Seth. Work with me. It's a good song. Here it comes. Pasadena Girl. Now I'm good. Cindy Dole, Home Wizards, and it had to be that song, Pasadena Girls, because, well, it works a couple ways. We got the Pasadena Showcase House that opens up a week from tomorrow, goes on for several weeks, and if you go to the website, my website, by Monday, I'll tell you all about how you can go on me, thanks to the Showcase volunteers, or you might want to even buy the tickets at PasadenaShowcase.org. So much to learn from when you go to this house. An incredible tour every year. It's been going on for nearly 50 years, and I always am amazed by the colors and the textures and just how these designers put it all together, and you go, wow, I want that now, right? Well, with me is one of the designers. She created the Littlest Princess girl room, Jill Kollmar. So thanks, Jill, for sharing some of your wisdom and your vision with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. And
My
before we
pleasure.
get into tips for us, we have to also mention there is a desk in this Littlest Princess bedroom.
Yes, there is.
A computer desk, like a new age?
Well, it could have a computer.
Yeah.
I don't have a computer on there because I don't want it to disappear during the show, or I mean, it's a little bit tricky to have that kind of thing. But I sort of imagined who this little girl was when I started working on the room, and I thought, well, maybe she came along kind of late in the plan of the family, and rather than go out and buy a whole room of furniture for her, the people in the house thought, well, let's see what we've got here, there, and everywhere, and took something from one room and something from another and put it all together and made it work, with the fabrics really dictating the color scheme and so on. So I have a Chinese chest that I'm using as a toy chest with a little cushion on top. I have an Italian desk, a Swedish antique chest of drawers. It's painted. And so it's a bit of a hodgepodge. Oh, an English nightstand, one with French legs. So, but it all works because
it's layered. It's layered of time and period and
layered,
textures.
Exactly, and the scale of the furniture is right for the space.
And we hear that all the time. I mean, that's the key. That's one of your tricks. You designer, you. It's about not looking too matchy-matchy. Like you bought the whole thing one day at the store, and they hauled it in, and there you go. Now you have a room. No, you want it to look lived in, traveled in, right? Seasoned.
Right.
Like it's a good marinade.
Very good. Very good comparison.
So as you created this Littlest Princess room, what did you start with to create the palette? Because we want to learn from you how on earth we're going to create our theme and our color scheme. What was it? A piece of fabric?
It was the wallpaper.
It was the wallpaper.
It was the flowered
and that
wallpaper.
was it. All right. So then our lesson is, where do we get our palette and our aha moment?
Well, I think if one looks at a lot of possibilities, I think looking at the shelter magazines is a great way to start, because there you're not expending a lot of time driving around and walking around and going in and out of stores and showrooms, but you can see things there that you say, wow, that really rings my bell. I love it. And use that as an inspiration just for the idea of it, or the mood of it, the look of it, and then taking it from there. But with my experience with this wallpaper, I knew I wanted the room to be light and bright and happy, not the way it was when I first saw it. And when I saw this paper, I thought, oh, this is just so cheerful and happy, and I'm going to just work it all from there. And that's how it how it evolved. And everything else is very neutral, very soft, gray beige. Nothing other than a toile, a kind of salmon and white toile. That's it. Everything else is solid and
pretty mellow.
And some green, pretty mellow.
All right. So now that we either go through magazines or we just kind of look around, or like in the case of Barclay Butera, it was a scarf that gave him the feeling, hey, I want to create a room that looks like a Moroccan, festival.
Yeah.
That's all cool. All right. So then here we have this littlest princess who is our daughter or our granddaughter or our niece, or she's the littlest girl that's in our family household, and we want her to feel special, right? We want her to feel, because I remember growing up in my room, that was a place to imagine. It was a place to feel comfort and safe, and I was always allowed to move my furniture around or do whatever, to express myself in a certain way, but I mean, within limits. I mean, I couldn't just, take a crayon and write on the wall, but certain things, and I think that's also important to kind of tap into what your little girl.
It is very important, and I think
to nurture
in real life, not doing a showcase room the way I have. When you get to know the child, it's very clear
their personality,
and what they like or what they don't care for, and these days certainly children aren't shy about expressing themselves. So I think if one can edit those ideas into something that makes a pretty room.
So here's the trick.
Great.
So now mom and dad, little girl, we'll call her Sally, wants nothing but unicorns and pink in the room. But as the mom, that may not work 2 years from now. And it certainly won't work 5 years from now. And what about down the road when now you're the empty nester and this might become your spare room to do as your extra home office or a guest room? So how do you negotiate that and come up with a happy medium so that it still taps into their spirit as the littlest princess, but it works as they grow older?
Well, I think what people have to realize is a little bit of color goes a long way. And if a child likes pink and wants pink accents is a great way to go, because you definitely know it's there and you have a sense that there's a lot of pink in the room, but you haven't painted the walls pink or, have gigantic pink bedspreads and carpeting and that kind of thing.
You mean like a Barbie place?
Like a Barbie place. I have nothing against Barbie, but and that's a real pink. But there are ways to infuse color and a feeling. If she likes unicorns, she could have a inexpensive unicorn poster framed and put on the wall, or have a little collection of unicorns on some shelves.
So something that's removable.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what I've done with this little rabbit collection. It's all the things in there that are childlike. And
so don't get unicorn wallpaper.
No, I wouldn't suggest that unless you don't mind spending the money to change it every few years.
So you were saying the rabbit collection was your solution to?
Well, just to adding a charming aspect to the room without putting rabbits on the wall and same kind of thing. Just limiting it to a more removable situation. Are
you getting requests from parents who want to do something, special for their youngsters' room, and they just don't know where to go, and if they can afford to make it this special little palace for them? Because heck, we're all trying to make the entire home look great. So where do you start?
What, with a child's room?
Yeah.
I find the jobs that I do, most of the time, the people I work for do the children's rooms themselves. They get a big kick out of it, and everything's so ready-made in the stores in terms of the bed sheets they want, a specific Barbie bed sheet or whatever, and so on. So I haven't really worked on that many children's rooms just from scratch. I've done a few, and that's fun. But
are you dealing with empty nesters who had the children's room and now they don't know what to do? They want to change it into something that's, hey, it's now all about me.
Definitely.
And what are you doing?
Or it's either it becomes an office, like an upstairs office / den, or a guest room.
And are there ever some decisions that those homeowners say, I wish I didn't do that to the room now, because now we have an even bigger makeover and we want it to be our room, not, you know what I mean?
Well, I think when we talk about it, usually they come around to realize that if they really want it the way they want it to be, they have to make a certain change or be open to making certain changes, and then they're okay with it.
We can see you at the Pasadena Showcase House, right there in the Littlest Princess room. And Jill Kollmar, thanks for sharing some ideas with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Well, next Saturday, the fun continues, as it always does every Saturday from 2 to 4, Home Wizards, that is. Next Saturday, I'm going to be on the road at the LA Convention Center. If you are there, come on by. We have a booth there. It's the Go Green Expo. We're going to talk about all things how to be smarter, more energy efficient. You've heard about this energy upgrade program. We're going to talk more about that, on what you can do to your home, to your life, to your garden, to save money, to help the planet, all that good stuff, whether it's small steps, big steps. We have it covered. So I hope you'll tune in for that. In the meantime, go to my Facebook page, become a friend, and let's talk about this home of yours and this garden of yours, and just have a great weekend, okay? CindyDole.com is the website. And remember, until next Saturday, the key's under the mat. Bye-bye.
I could see the city light. Wind was blowing, time stood still.
I'd say that was a pretty successful broadcast.